All right, so I posted up about the comic books, the last two videos, and I might continue when I make new books and series to talk about those. But for now, I want to talk about the poetry books that I created from older works. And I just actually printed up an anthology of those, or putting them all together and making one, and actually adding in my really older poems. So it's pretty decent. I'll show you guys when I get that printed. But for now, these are the books that I have right now printed. And let's start off with the first one that I had to get done. And this one is called The Death of a Bluebird. And a lot of people interpret it different and whatnot, but really this is the poetry and the art during the time of a breakup that I was going through, and this is the work that came out of that. So the cool thing about it, so the bluebird metaphor kind of evolved during that time as well. I never really thought about bluebirds, and I put birds. I always liked birds, but I never thought about birds, small birds, as opposed to like eagles and falcons. And so I like those. Those are the ones that I associated more with. And as time went on, like during this breakup and whatnot, another artist, girl that I painted before. Okay, so the girlfriend that I had broken up with, I'd painted her watercolor with a bird in there and flowers. And so I was moving into the, trying to create art that's beautiful and it's normal, like Renoir kind of stuff. And so this is so the bird started from there, and then I started noticing it, and then I started using it specifically. And I think the bluebird for me, there was bluebirds around our house, and I always saw them growing up even. So the songbird and then it turns out the hummingbird even became important. And then, but the bluebird is what this book's about, and kind of like the blues, and then songs, singing songs, and so that's kind of what this metaphor is. So I wrote the work, and then I went and had to illustrate it, and this is some of the illustrations that came with it. I'm gonna read a poem from it. Maybe not, I don't know. Maybe in another performance video I will. So it's more like a book, like a normal formatted book. And then so here's the art, and then and words. So it's kind of mixed in with the collage work. So some paintings, some photographs, all kind of expressing these feelings. And it's tough, man, like heartfelt love poems, but breakup poems too. So when you go through this is like, and again, you can read them on my website. So this book is really colorful and illustrative, and the poetry is fits all together. So it's all one story, and then there's the book. So it's artsy. This is kind of what I'm moving towards with my art and with my poetry work. So okay, so these two are the next work. So this one is actually poetry from around the same time, and then this one is writings from like social media stuff that I thought were pretty good. So it's more like, I don't know, it's its own thing, I guess. Like some writings, but mostly like posts that said something artsy. So this one's Wars and Rumors of Wars, which comes from the Bible if you are familiar with that. And what this means is that so I illustrated it, and there's some pretty heavy art poems in here that are pretty intense, and they kind of have a spoken word feel to them, because I was into spoken word at the time, and listening a lot of. I always loved poetry, but the spoken word experience really opened up a lot of doors to the expression of words in a poetic fashion. And so I use that in these works, and you can see it really opened up a lot of doors to how I feel the art form is. And so it has black and white illustrations. It's a smaller format book, and these ones could be the best works that I've created. They're definitely the most free, but some, it goes. There's dark and light in each poem. So there's like some love poetry, some political-ish, not really super political, but some hopeful, some sad, and yeah, and then a separate piece of work, which is some poetry. It's more love poem-ish stuff that was part of my social media. Okay, so, and then this one on here, it's called Tides of God. Tides of God, and I like this. This is the last one of this series that I created, and that uses all the works from this time period, and the title I like. I'm gonna keep using that title because it's a good title. So, some illustrations in there, and some writings. Some good stuff. Okay, I'll read it from this one, okay? Today, tomorrow, and always, I will love you. When together, I am with. I smile when you are happy. And then there's this like, there's some pretty funny stuff. There's some funny stuff in here too. You're gonna have to go through this on your own. Poem a day helps keep the mental home away. I mean, that's the funniest it gets. There's one that just says ditto, 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 ditto. So, I like this book. I wish there was more of it because it's pretty entertaining. It's lighthearted. So that is it. And peace out. Hope you guys have a good February 19th and so on.